I know that in terms of grub, there are some like with really weird name. For example, like, what is a spotted dick?
That's not what we think it is.
Is it really spotted? That's what I want to know.
It is a beautiful, a delectable English dessert. So it's not a savoury item. It's a dessert.
Not a hot dog.
It's a bit like your baked pudding with custard and sultanas. With a crunchy top. It's delicious. The spotted dick is lovely, and you would have it with custard. You know.
And is this something you would recommend us try when we go to London?
I think you should. And if you can stop giggling for a moment, then I think you should order it.
What about toads in a hole? See, you have quirky names like that.
Toad in a hole's delicious. All it is a lovely sausage, and it's baked in batter. So it's a bit like a Yorkshire pudding, which again is not a dessert, so it's savoury. And then you have lovely gravy on the top. Toad in the hole is like a baked sausage with batter. It's delicious.
I see.
Wow, you're making us really hungry.
I know, we're all salivating.
So I think when you go there, you gotta have your toads and you gotta have your spots.
Okay, I will have those. Any other sites that we must see?
I think that the Imperial War Museum is an amazing attraction in London. It's one of my favourites, and it may not be so conventional. You know, why would you go there? But the history and the artifacts are incredible. I know you said you were taking your parents; they would love it, and it covers all the conflicts, of course, involving Britain, but also the Commonwealth. So there are some references there to conflicts where Malaysia has been involved. But it's a wonderful morning or an afternoon, great attraction. And you can't go to London and not go to the Natural History Museum. You know, where else are you going to find a 40-million-year-old spider? And actually, right next door, because of course we want to take care of women like you that are wearing heels. Right next door to the Natural History Museum is the V&A. And the V&A is probably very interesting because it's got 3,000 years worth of artifacts from all over the world. So you can have, the throne of Maharaja Ranjit Singh, you can have tapestries, you can have fashion, you can have Art Deco. There's so much there. You will love it. You'll be like a kid in a candy shop.
I'm already wide-eyed and so in awe. I want to go back to London, but unfortunately I can't. So Xandria, you're going to have to take lots and lots of pictures and walk that walk for me.
And you can go during Christmas.
Yes.
And I hear it's beautiful in Christmas, London.
It is lovely.
We still have Molly with us. And next, we're gonna discover more about London.
Stay with us, Tabitha.
We've been having a blast, a wicked time, I must say, with Molly Tremper. And she is the CEO of the British Malaysian Chambers of Commerce. And Molly, sorry for my ignorance, but when I first met you a couple of weeks ago outside some dingy place, we shall not tell everybody where that is, and you gave me your card, and my first impression was, oh, Commerce, Chambers of Commerce, are you a lawyer? Is that a normal misconception? Please tell me so that I don't feel weird.
It is, and I'm really glad you've asked that question. And a lot of people, when I introduce myself, they don't ask the question. They go away not understanding what a Chamber of Commerce is. A Chamber of Commerce is basically an organisation that supports businesses. And we are the British Malaysian Chamber of Commerce. I think in essence we are a networking machine. We connect businesses. We are part of a network of chambers that operates in Southeast Asia. So we've got Singapore, Indonesia, Vietnam. We fly the British flag in Malaysia, and we fly the Malaysian flag in the UK, so we're supporting businesses bilaterally as well.
How did you come to work for BMCC then?
I kind of accidentally arrived in Malaysia and hadn't realised what an incredible country it was, and I feel so proud now to be representing Malaysia, especially as it's now known as a growing and emerging economy. There's been so much activity happening here, so I feel quite proud to be in Malaysia. It's a great country to live and work.
And there have also been quite a few high-profile visits to Malaysia, right? We have very prominent British people coming to Malaysia. Are there going to be any royal visits, do you reckon, sometime soon?
What we'll do is let me cover who's been coming in first of all. So we had earlier this year we had Lord Green, who's the Minister of Trade for the UK. After that we had Baroness Wasi. We've had a few British ministers coming through, and very recently we had the British Prime Minister himself, David Cameron. So that was wonderful. Royal visit. I think that we cannot rule it out, and I think it's safe to say it's highly probable.
Whoa.
Oh, I'm leeching on you.
You better get your hats ready, just in case.
Get the hats ready.
I will wear a 5-tier wedding cake hat if I.
And if you're listening to this and you have a favorite royal, well, you better keep your fingers crossed that it is your favorite royal who's coming here to Malaysia. Hopefully, before the year ends.
Yes, we're trying to rock her down for a
I'm
day.
pretending not to hear. Instead, can I tell your listeners that if they want to know more information about trade between the two countries, they can go and find us on Facebook at the British Malaysian Chamber of Commerce. They can follow us on Twitter, BMCC Malaysia.
Very good. And then if you have any questions to ask Molly about anything British at all, you can always tweet her, and I'm sure she will be more than happy to share with you some tips on what to do, what to see when you're
Absolutely.
Okay, I know Joanne is dying to ask Molly about the men in
Yes.
England.
I want to know, in your opinion, my dear, who are the sexiest men in UK at the moment?
Make sure you stay tuned for that right now. This is Tyler Hilton with When He Comes. We'll be right back after the news. Capital FM.
Capital FM 88.9. Women, the new capital.
Yes, that's right. We are definitely the new capital. Don't you agree, Molly?
Absolutely. There is no other capital on the planet apart from capital.
And now since we are all ladies here, I've been dying to ask you, Molly, who do you think is the sexiest man in the UK at the moment? Which man actually gets your knickers in a twist?
What kind of a question is that?
The kind that, you probably are thinking
Okay, now if you ask the girls in my office, they will say David Cameron. They fell in love with him when he came to England, but I would say otherwise. Who do I like? I think David Beckham still.
Really? Come on.
He's
So squeaky.
He's squeaky.
He's more of a role model. Come on, he works hard. He's a great father, great husband.
But there was a scandal a few years ago.
I don't recall that.
Selective memory. You see all these Londoners, they're very proud, of England.
I don't remember that. We didn't cover it in England.
Well, I personally like Tom Hardy. Now, he's quite new, not that new in the industry, but I didn't realize that he was so sexy until that movie This Means War.
Oh,
When he tried to woo the girl, and he had these lips. I believe his lips are equivalent to Angelina Jolie's lips. That's how sexy his lips are.
Now, I have not paid that much attention to British men and their lips, but I have to tell you that I am quite partial to Mr. Alan Rickman. I know he's more mature, don't roll your eyes, but I like him.
What is it with you and older men, Prince Charles?
Exactly.
Look, Asher agreed with me. And then I like Jimmy Mistry. He's a great actor, and I think I quite like him, and I hope he's not listening. And then Christian Bale, come on, The Dark Knight, isn't he gorgeous?
Have you just seen it, the movie?
I haven't. I think I might brave the Siberian conditions of a Malaysian cinema this weekend.
Molly reckons that the Malaysian cinemas are colder than winter in London.
I personally think they transport you to a different world. You can finally experience winter in the cinemas.
The only way to survive a Malaysian cinema is to wear an Arctic fleece and your cashmere wools. And so when I go there, I do get looked at, actually.
Or you go with a hunky guy who can wrap you in his arms, and you'll stay warm that way.
What a great idea!
Yeah, right. Better than your scars and your wounds.
I think for Molly, you need two hunky guys, not one.
One on each side.
Yes, of course, because then there'll be more warmth.
Hey, but speaking of The Dark Knight, right? So you have Kristen Bale, and then Tom Hardy's also in it. So you see, you have to go catch it.
It's still
So
Tom
double
Hardy
eye
for me.
candy. Okay.
Well, thank you so much for being here with us. We've had such a great time with you, and I'm really looking forward to exploring London with Molly in a few weeks.
Yes, so stay tuned. We've got lots of things to give up. Thank you, Molly, for
Thanks,
being here.
ladies.
Any last words you want to say about England and London and all things British?
This is the year to visit. So if you're Malaysian and you're considering it, there's so much buzz, there's so much fun. This is the year to do it.
Especially when we're there.
All right, ladies.
Capital FM 88.9. Women, the new capital.